Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today, when you look at the page, you're going to find that I've made what would appear to be a radical change, but it's really a more traditional way of looking at astrology. Are you ready to find out what that looks like? Okay, let's get into these aspects. Today is Friday, August 26, 2022. The sun is in Virgo. The first 10 days of this transit are generally devoted to assessing our situation and determining what plans we need to move forward. We pay attention to details. We want to do it right because we don't want to do it twice. Moon in Leo is a waning crescent or nearly new moon, sometimes called the balsamic moon. We are at the end of our efforts to release and should be wrapping up any cleaning or inner work we've been doing toward that end. Things come and go, friends. It's okay to surrender to the tides of the moon's influence. This evening, the moon will move into Virgo after 7 p.m. Tomorrow, the moon will be new. And we'll pause to give full appreciation to the present moment, and then we can begin again to create. Mutable earth and fixed fire, friends. A lot of mutable earth and a little bit of fixed fire here. We have the heart-centered drive and focus to achieve whatever we have set out to do. So, what you see before you today may seem like a big change. And it may transform the way I offer up this report. For one thing, having drawn out the actual chart for today, I realized there are more current aspects than I had known there were. So that will probably have to be addressed. For now, however, I thought it was time I start working with the wheel on the page so that we can all have an idea what these aspects look like out there for us. Let's take a little tour of the wheel before I get into the aspects today. In the outer ring, we see the signs. They create a band of constellations that encircles the planet from our perspective. This is the backdrop against which the planets of our solar system move, and they generally move around us in a clockwise fashion. The signs on the top are the ones in the sky where I live at the time I have designated for the chart. And the ones at the bottom are out of sight to me until they make their way around to the top. Inside the second ring, we see the planets. They generally move in a counterclockwise fashion against the backdrop of the signs. Of course, sometimes they appear to slow down and even move clockwise, creating the illusion of retrograde. It just so happens right now that all of the faster planets are on one side of the wheel and all of the slower planets are on the other side of the wheel. The faster planets will change their position more quickly than the slower ones will. I think it's interesting to notice here because you see this is the flow, the general flow of the trajectory of the planets. It's interesting to here to see all the major pushback these slower planets appear to be giving against the regular flow of things. When we start on the moon side of the page today, this is where we explore the inner life, how it feels to be us and who we are and how we show up at home and among the people we keep close. At 7:25 a.m. Central Standard Time, friends, moon makes ingress to Virgo after a 17.5 hours void, of course, so we had plenty of time to get some reflection and meditation in. Moon makes ingress to Virgo, as though to say, okay, boss, I got my mind in the right place, and now we're ready to get down to the business of setting things in order, both in our inner and outer lives. This new moon will be particularly about assessment of our resources and the solutions that we seek. There are a couple of things happening on the sun side of the page today. This is where we explore our experience and self-expression out in the world in our work, social, and civic spaces. At 11:33 this evening, late, Venus goes square to Uranus, and this will be with us through the 31st. Taurus, Libra, and Sagittarius, these are your vibes. Sometimes in friendship or in love, we get an urge to try something different, to do something wild and spontaneous. And sometimes this is when we find out that our friend or our beloved is not on the same page with us when it comes to something we knew we'd like to do. When Uranus is involved, I often suggest communication. Our bonds at this time are growing stronger thanks to Venus trine Chiron, so it should be a simple matter of having a talk that clarifies what would be fun for everyone involved. And then early tomorrow morning at 12:26, Sun goes square to Mars, and that will be with us through September 11. Aries, Leo, and Scorpio, those are your vibes. Sun and Mars are good buddies, but they bring a lot of heat and action-oriented energy to a situation. It's going to be important to have strategies for burning off excess steam, or we may have a fiery outburst. In the ongoing column today, Venus is trine to Chiron through August 30th here. Aries, Taurus, and Libra. This is a beautiful opportunity to grow closer to someone special with whom we have a mutual regard. The bonding we do right now can help us to heal some of our own wounds. Mars trine Pluto here through August 28. And Mercury trine Pluto here through August 30. So here's a good use of this central illustration here. If you look to find these three planets, okay, we've got Mercury here, we've got Mars, and we've got Pluto. We find that they make a nearly equilateral triangle together, covering, sort of spanning the whole inside of the wheel. So in chart reading, this is called a grand trine, and it's a very positive thing to see. All of these planets are working with the same elements. In this case, they're all on or near an earth and air cusp, which gives an indication of the energies involved. Think of the grand trine as the prism through which blessings of self-confidence and ability to create beautiful things, to be at ease as we work, and to have all the parts work well for us shine. Okay, so I encourage you to look at your own natal chart and notice if you see a grand trine shape. This particular grand trine combines our rational capacity, our bold sense of initiative, and our deep inner knowing in an opportunity. That's our deep inner knowing, and in an opportunity to level up by taking actions on changes we know have to be made. And considering the Earth-air cusp nature of these planets, I would say that the changes are bringing us out of the material and into the intellectual. This feels like a work smarter, not harder vibe, and I am all about that. Mercury is opposite to Neptune here through August 28. Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Just make sure, especially if you're doing official things like signing documents, that you have all the facts about any deals you might enter into at this time, okay? Ask even the ridiculous questions. Recall that Mercury is in Libra right now. Let that indecisiveness work for you. Take your time and get it right so you don't wind up with the short end of the deal. And retrograde season is here. You'll find these planets on different parts of the wheel depending on the day and the time of day, but they're always in the same order at this time. Moving clockwise, which is against the general flow of planetary trajectories, as we discussed. Retrograde is a time of review, reassessment, and revision when it comes to how we interact with the retrograde planet's various energies, not injuries. Currently, we have 6. I'll walk through them briefly and then move on. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section, okay? So, Pluto is do I have this here? Nope. Pluto is retrograde through October 8. And this is really bringing us through some deep personal transformations, possibly in response to the transformations that have happened in our outer life over the past year or so. And then Saturn is retrograde through the 22nd of October, and this is really about reassessing our commitment and how well we've done at taking care of our responsibilities, so that we can sort of recommit to the things that we know we need to be taking care of. Neptune is here and will be in retrograde till the 22nd of December, I believe. And you know, Neptune in Pisces is usually a very foggy, misty, dreamy area of the psyche, and in retrograde it gives us this sort of clarity in that zone, so we can tell the difference between what is our reality and what is our illusion. And then Jupiter is retrograde here. I believe that's through November 23. Jupiter's retrograde is about helping us expand our hearts and our minds, sort of grow on the inside, so that we can take in more of the things we like, love, and can't get enough of. All of the things that, you know, we're the direction that we're choosing to grow in is going to ask us to take on more. So we want to be ready for that. And then Chiron in retrograde through December 27. Chiron retrograde is sort of allowing us to reflect on the healing that we have done, especially in terms of any old social wounds that we might have. And having reflected on that, then we can begin to let down perhaps some old defensive ways of being that don't really work for us anymore. And then Uranus is retrograde, and this will be through January 22nd. And listen, Uranus retrograde, I mean, whether Uranus is direct or retrograde, its whole job is to shake things up and to make things that you didn't expect would happen. When it's retrograde, we get to reflect on the unexpected changes we've gone through, but we also might go through some really unexpected personal changes. Hopefully they will be the kind that surprise and delight us and change our perspectives for the better. Okay, coming up tomorrow, we'll have a powerful new moon in Virgo, and this will give us an opportunity to think about how we embody our creativity. And then Sunday, Venus will go opposite to Saturn, and we may have cause to wonder whether the love we can feel can be brought to mesh with the practical realities of our lives. And then next week on Tuesday, Sun goes quincunx to Jupiter, and don't tell me what to do. Okay, that's it for today's astrology, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. I hope I didn't scare anybody there. I think I kind of scared myself a little bit, but it's just an aspect that kind of tells us, that makes us feel like, don't tell me what to do. For a longer, less formal version of this reading that includes further insight from Tarot, please check out my other channel, Astrology Today and Tarot with Mel Rose. The link is in the description. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in. My love and gratitude go out to each and every one of you, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.